my knitty friends.
Hi, all Amy's knitty friends.
We're your friends too now.
I'm Sandy.
This is my friend Sandy. She's like my big enabler. She's my shopping buddy. Welcome to Hudson Valley Knits. So today we're at Sandy's house.
Yes. Surrounded by Sandy.
Surrounded by a lot of beautiful Sandy's knitted stuff.
Thank you, Amy.
I love this.
Amy is wearing, from French Girl, the Yvette.
It's Yvette.
Yvette poncho.
So and this is so soft. It's alpaca, right?
It's knitted with Misty Alpaca.
Oh, it's so soft.
And I made it many years ago. I saw the pattern in a yarn shop in Memphis, Tennessee that does not exist anymore. Another yarn store that's gone, but happy, happy memories of Memphis.
I tell you, so basically we're going to show you all our works in progress and FOs and stuff, and then we have a lot of knitty stuff to talk about.
Sure.
All right. So
what should we say first?
I'm going to show my works in progress.
And I will follow Amy's lead because I'm a newbie here.
All right. So first off, I'll show you Joey's socks. I'm getting there.
Okay.
So
those are really nice.
Yeah, this one, I'm like, keep coming up with problems. Like I dropped a stitch, and it's hard to pick up stitches with this croy because it's like very thready.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how else to describe it.
So it splits very easily.
It splits a lot.
Also, the needles are very tiny and sharp, so they must add to the split. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, in the diner. So Sandy and I were at the diner last night, and I stick my hand in my purse. I went, ah! Jump. And it didn't make me bleed, but...
Right, a little bit of blood testing.
So here we go. I think I've gotten 2 stripes since I last... 2.5 down the foot. Let me see.
It is gorgeous. Can I touch?
Sure.
Wow. Look.
Yeah, so here's the one that's done. So I'm halfway through
Here, let's compare.
Right? Yeah.
Just so you see. Inspiration. Almost done.
Getting there.
Amy's one of the fastest knitters that I know.
If I ever see my son again.
Or if winter ever ends.
Yeah, I know. He hasn't come up in a long time. All right, so I got that. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, so...
The other thing that I love about Amy is every project is in a gorgeous bag. So, Amy, tell us about this bag.
Tangerine Designs. It's one of her winter ones, and I picked it because... It wasn't like specifically Christmassy, so I could use it all winter long.
And especially the inside.
I know, isn't that beautiful?
Because we just had a blizzard this weekend.
I tell you, I'm ready to switch the bag just because I'm tired of looking at snow, though.
Okay. All right, should we switch off here?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, I am working on the Argyle cowl from Imperial Stock Ranch. And I think that's coming up backwards. But what I discovered last week is that the yarn in this cowl is the same yarn that was used in the Olympic sweaters for the United States team. So I'm feeling kind of patriotic. Now, you see those 2 little markers there? That's where I made some boo-boos and used the wrong color, but I'll go back and fix that.
You can just... what do you call it?
Duplicate stitch. So this is my first, what is this, stranded knitting project?
Yes.
I was taught by a wonderful teacher at Cornwall Yarn Store in Cornwall, New York. I think Gail. She just made it so clear to me what I should do and how to keep the tension. Because I did start a project last year, but everything was all puckered. And so I'm sort of excited about this. But I'm going to show you the yarn up close. This is the gray. If you can see the loftiness to it. I'm telling you, those Olympic athletes must be pretty warm. And here's the orange.
That's beautiful colors.
I was so tempted to go out and get the red, white, and blue, but Amy convinced me they were the ugliest sweaters she's ever seen. I shouldn't have said that. Okay, sorry, Ralph Lauren.
But really, weren't they kind of like tacky?
They were a testament to the American spirit of crafting.
I don't know. Okay. I'm of the philosophy, keep it simple. All right.
And I'm of the philosophy that this is going to be so warm that global warming better not happen.
Are you going to, like, Kitchener that together or something?
That's something I need to learn. Maybe we can do that it's a teach along.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So let's see. I got another thing. Okay, I got my whatchamacallit? Crocatilla socks. So these are a test knit, and I don't know how to. It's Krokatoa, and this is a test knit for someone that I'm friends with on Pinterest, Amelia Put. So hopefully she's going to be publishing these soon because it's really a fun pattern. It's a lace pattern. I changed the heel. I didn't do the lace pattern down the heel because I didn't want it to wear out too fast, and I don't wear shoes with an open back. So I got this one done, and I was going to put it aside because I really wanted to knit something else, but I can't like not finish it. I have to finish it.
So can you explain what test knitting is?
So basically what she did is she sent me her pattern that hasn't been published yet, and she just wanted me to run through the directions just to make sure everything was explained well and whatnot before she goes and publish it. So you kind of look for mistakes. It's not really tech editing. Mm-hmm. It's just to make sure that everything flows nice.
Okay.
So.
And just as a point of reference, what sort of, do you compensated for it? Is it something that people do for one another to help them out in the knitting community?
I just offered, and I used my own yarn, and I got the pattern for free. Most people will do it for free.
Okay.
And then, but there are some people that also get paid, and I guess it's all in what you're expecting in return. Right.
Okay.
So
how many projects usually are test knitted before a pattern goes out to the public?
I think every one of them should be test knitted.
No, I meant how many test knitters are there per pattern?
I have, for my shawl thing, I have 4.
Okay.
So I figure that's enough eyes to really kind of...
Mm-hmm. And so do you have them use different yarns to see how it may appear with different textures?
Well, you know, Solange is testing against the curve.
Hi, Solange!
Hi, Solange!
She's another one of our knitty friends.
She's actually, I should call her a sample knitter because I gave her the yarn. I kind of paid her. I gave her a knitting project bag. As a gift, and it had
another bag. Look, here's another one of Amy's gorgeous bags.
This is from Joanna Spring. I love this.
Oh, at Joanna Spring.
She's from the Knit Spin Farm podcast.
And even though we've had a blizzard here in the Northeast, the birds are coming back.
I hope so.
They're on their way.
I know. So I gave her compensation, but I want to keep the shawl. I gave her the yarn. It's Lost City Yarns. And basically it's a sock yarn, and I want to keep it as a sample. So I compensated her because I don't expect her to put all that time into it for nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So,
all right. So we talked about what Amy was wearing. So like to talk about what I'm wearing. I purchased this yarn at Annie & Co. in New York City on one of my yarn adventures. What do we call them? Positions, stash enhancing sex. It's called sex. Yes, this is how knitters have sex. Single knitters have sex. Stash enhancing exposition. Annie & Co. is a gorgeous yarn shop on the Upper West Side, I think, of New York. Anyway, this is the Dress Code Loophole Wrap, and it's by Nicole Lore. And the yarn is Tilly Thomas Mystery Skein. I saw it and knew that I would just want to knit this up because I thought it would go perfectly over this very low-cut dress. But there's so much going on in this pattern here with the different textures that it really is too much for the dress, but I love it. And as you'll see as we move on with my other projects, that I love green. So, my nails are green. Yes, Amy and I yesterday went for manicures and pedicures.
Our toes are actually the same color.
Which we may show you in a little while.
We can take a picture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, should I show another project? All right. I'll first start with the flower. This is a felted flower.
Oh, isn't that so cute?
It's made with Farmhouse Yarns yarn, which I got at Flying Fingers in Tarrytown. Now, Flying Fingers in Tarrytown during the summertime has this phenomenal event on Wednesdays, which they call it Warehouse Wednesdays, and they bring down stuff from their upstairs attic, and you just walk out with handfuls of yarn at really incredible prices. And they had this wonderful kit there to make a felted bag. And so here
I love this.
is,
Look at this thing.
here is the bag.
Oh my gosh.
So I think that maybe the whole thing with all the yarn and the yarn for the flower may have cost me $20. It also came with
so
a set of needles. It was a gift pack that she
Wow.
had been selling at some
Yeah,
point.
move your hand so you take it.
Okay.
Oh wow. Look at that with the flower.
So this bag has a lot of baggage to it. It's knit for a very special young lady, and it's infused with a lot of love for her, and I hope that I do get to give it to her one day, or eventually. She's sort of in and out and back in the life of my son, and I adore her, and so this is for her. And I'm also thinking, I love this bag so much, I want to make one for myself.
I think you should. I think
And
it's
I
a really
think
cool bag.
what I would do is add a flap to it, because I'm a little neurotic about people
wonder-
reaching in. I mean, you could put a couple of buttons on the top.
I think a flap would be nice.
But I also thought if I only had enough yarn to make it this way, I might get some funky fabric and sort of quilt it to make a colorful,
nice.
you know, something colorful to offset just the gray.
I've never seen you knit sew.
Don't ask about sewing.
Oh boy.
Sewing makes me very anxious. In fact, we'll talk about that. Okay, Amy saw this and said I needed to show it to you. So this is the Harlow coat. It was in a Collinette book that I bought years and years ago. I think Hollywood Knits or something like that. And I acquired this gorgeous Malabrigo Aquarella yarn. Every time I went to the going out of business sale of a particular yarn store nearby.
Sad, yeah.
And I mean, the color was a color that I really loved, the mustard. And I kept saying, oh, I can't keep buying this. And then I just acquired so many skeins of it that I made this gorgeous
Let's see if we can
coat.
hold it up together.
I don't know.
I don't know if you could, yeah, they could see it pretty good.
I will take a picture later with me wearing it. But anyway, I mean, it was simple. You know, you can tell bulky knitting, big pieces.
I wonder how long did it take you to make this? Do you remember?
I worked on it for years because you just asked me about sewing. I always say when it's time to put your garments together, it's sewing, not knitting. And I get really anxious. And our friend Lori, hi Lori.
Hi, Lori.
If you made it this far, every time I need to do any seaming or putting together, she has to come over and hold my hand. So I wait for her to come by, and it took a long time to finish this. Oh, I didn't tell people. You can find me on Ravelry, right? I'm Knit1, the number 1, Weave, T-O-O. That's back from the days I used to do a lot of basket weaving, which I really haven't done in a while. Every summer, I say, oh, we're going to invite people over to do basket weaving, and it doesn't happen, but I am Knit1, Weave, T-O-O, Weave 2, and you can find this on Ravelry.
You got my yarn.
Okay.
All right. So I'll show some stuff now. Let's see, what else do I have? Oh, well, let me show my washcloth. So basically,
This is so wonderful. So wonderful.
Yeah, I'm doing a, on my, in my Ravelry group, I'm doing a senior love along where I'm asking people to knit washcloths for seniors in a local home, local to me, to give out at the end of the year towards the holidays. So this is just a cotton washcloth that I'm making. It's with a simple knit and purl pattern where it's going on a diagonal, but the marled cotton yarn is not really showing it off well, but that's all right.
And that'll give like a little bit of exfoliation.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Or massage.
Yeah.
So can you tell people where they should send their washcloths?
I'm asking them to hold on to them till towards the end of the year, because where would I put them?
Oh, right.
In my little...
Right. Because Amy lives in the cutest
little house. Very little house. Let's see what else. Oh, you know what I worked on last night? During whatchamacallit?
Downton Abbey?
Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey was an
Mine
hour and a
didn't
half last
record.
night. I told you mine didn't record either.
I
think
so
because
upset.
it was an hour and a half and not an hour that it didn't read it for some reason.
I was so
Oh my
upset.
gosh, Amy. I just want to laugh here a little bit, ladies and gentlemen who may be watching.
Wait a minute. Now, these are
This-
all
here
Joanna
are-
Spring bags.
Oh my gosh, they are
As
just
you can tell, I love
too
her fabric.
adorable.
Yeah.
Okay, Joanna Spring, I'm looking you up. Where can I find you?
Knit Spin Farm Podcast. She's hilarious. You
Knit
would love her.
Spin Farm
Farm
Podcast. This is why I really should learn how to sew.
Look at it. Isn't it gorgeous?
Oh, you know what, Amy? I may have to step out of the camera a little bit because I have a whole bunch of purses
Ooh.
that I've knit up that my good friend Margaret helped me make linings for.
Oh, nice.
And every time I speak to her, did you sew those linings in yet, Sandy? No,
No.
because it's sewing.
So I have a lavender sachet. I gotta buy some lavender. I gotta find out where you can buy lavender.
Oh, I know where you should get it. We can
Okay.
talk about that after. Okay.
All right. So this is the Carson throw, and I haven't worked on this in forever, but I grabbed it while I was watching.
Or it's a hat for her husband.
No.
Hi, Mark!
Mark has a very large circumference head, but so do you.
Oh, okay.
23
New word.
inches.
New Yiddish word.
What?
Kepi.
Kepi.
Which, by the way, is an adorable yarn from Lion Brand. They just came out with yarn called Kepi, which means head. You knit the whole skein, and at the end is a pom-pom, which goes on the top of the hat. It's just all complete. It's really
And that's
cute.
a kepi.
It's called a Kepi.
That's cool.
Okay.
All right. So that's
We'll
the
get to
Carson
schmutz
throw.
if I can find where the schmutz went. Right, the schmutz. Okay, I gotta look for the schmutz while she's. What is
Okay,
the
I'll show
Carson
more
throw?
stuff. It's going to be like there was a Carson shawl, which was a half circle shawl by Rosemary Hill, and she wrote out she expanded the pattern so that you can, and I can look it up, so that you could make a throw with it using Cascade Ecological.
Oh
This
my
is
goodness!
Cascade Ecological.
I love Cascade
and we
Ecological.
all know she does.
Okay, so I have a little story to tell about Cascade
ahead.
Ecological,
While I
which
pull
Amy,
up a
which
picture.
Amy knows. I guess a few years ago, my son was spending a semester abroad in Berlin, and so just to keep him in my heart, I was knitting him a scarf out of Cascade Ecological, which he still wears to this day, which I'm going to think is maybe 4 years or 3 years from then. Hi, Rich!
Hi, Richie.
Anyway, the one thing I want to tell you about Cascade Ecological is it drapes and it grows. So keep that in mind if you're using it for any sort of scarf
Here is
or
somebody's
apparel.
Carson throw. You can see it's a beautiful round shawl.
And that's
Pattern.
in
The
Cascade?
well, I don't know if this one is, but that's what she wrote the pattern for, and it's just gorgeous. Look at the detail.
Oh my goodness, I might have to make this.
You might have to.
I just might
Look at
have
the
to.
detail of this. It's just gorgeous. I love this. I love Rosemary Hill is like my favorite designer.
Because we are in my house, I will show you. It's usually very chilly in here, not today, but
Especially if you're wearing this.
this is, oh my goodness, I'm not really quite sure what this was from Brooklyn Tweed. Can you
that's
see it?
Right.
We could
gorgeous
look that up.
Let me see if. Oh yeah, you can see the color's beautiful too.
Yeah.
Do you remember what yarn it is?
You know what? I can look that up on my Ravelry page. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's a sock yarn that was against the wall, a Katoni yarn.
Socks that rock.
No. It'll come to us. We'll look it up.
Okay.
But anyway, it sort of is more like a lap throw. It did buckle a little bit, but I just love it.
Did you ever block it?
Yes, I have
Okay.
blocked it. I think that was part of the problem with the pattern. This was a doily, but maybe as it grew. Amy, you could look that up on Ravelry maybe while I'm showing my next project.
Sure.
Okay. So here's some other incredible great yarn. I think it's called Pareo. No.
I remember you making this.
I made this over the summer,
Yeah.
actually, and it has a great story behind it. The yarn was one of the special yarns that came down at the warehouse sale at Flying Fingers. And I looked at it and I said, oh my gosh, this is the same colors that go in my living room. And I started knitting this blanket. And I used to have a problem. I couldn't knit and watch TV at the same time. And it was really upsetting to me. So I was watching some TV show on Hulu called Prisoners of War, which is the Israeli version of Homeland. It's what Homeland is based on. And I was so intrigued by the show, but I really wanted to knit this. And so I would have that on in the background with the subtitles. And all of a sudden I realized I can knit. I only have to look up for the subtitles because I couldn't translate the Hebrew.
Oh.
And so now we're in my living room where my TV is, and I can now knit while watching TV if I don't fall asleep first.
Okay, so I'm at your page.
So
Projects.
Right. It's down there somewhere. It's not there.
It's not there, Sandy.
It's got to be there. It was always there.
You have to show your...
Oh, yes. Oh, sorry for all this delay.
Just 1 minute.
Just one
We'll
minute.
find... You know what? I will put it in the project
It's
notes.
so weird that it's not in here. I know I took pictures of it.
You didn't put it in here yet. We'll have to take care of it.
Okay, we will put that in the project notes, or I will look it up while she's going there.
Are you going to look
Chatting
up the
away.
yarn? Okay. So, well, you have my list.
Oh, I remember now. It's Lorna's lace. Worsted.
Oh, and it's a
Lorna's
beautiful
lace. But I
color.
want to find out what the pattern was. Sorry, Jared, that it's taking me so long to
Jared
remember.
came to our knitting guild once. Remember?
Yeah.
He's so quiet. All right, what should I show next? You know what? Should I show this? Let me show this. So
Okay.
this is, this is the shawl I'm making. It's by Donna Druconis, and it's called the Event Horizon shawl, and it's from her Knitting and Stitches 2, and I'm showing it backwards again. I can't really tell much, but I did knit a lot on this. The rounds are getting longer, but I finished one repeat of the second circle, and that's what it looks like. Slow progress. This is something I'm knitting for my aunt, the one who's sick, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, so my aunt is not doing well.
Yeah.
I know, so I have to finish this quickly, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
So I can give it to her.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Isn't it gorgeous?
It's so soft. And Amy put in the...
I did. I put in a lifeline. This is the
Can
first
you
time
see
I've
the
ever used
lifeline
one.
in there?
I've never used one before.
The white. And why would you use a lifeline?
Because I don't want to have to pick up yarn over stitches.
Okay.
And I usually don't use lifelines, and I don't bother with it. But this time I'm like, I'm investing way too much time in this, and I have to get it done in time to give it to my aunt. Because honestly, she isn't well at all, and I want her to be able to wrap herself up in it. Because I can't be near her. She lived far away.
So that's going to be a good focus for you. Next.
All right. You got
It's
it?
the Hemlock Ring blanket.
Oh.
It's one of the first projects that I was working on. And again, it took a long time, and I just loved the idea that you can knit a doily in a worsted weight
I love
and
this
turn it
color.
into something else.
I wonder if Lorna's Laces still makes this colorway.
I wonder.
I love it.
Well, you see, it goes perfect with the room, which we can't show you right now.
We could show you the snow out the window, because that's all you see. Outside her window is white with like little branches poking out of her tree here and there. But seriously, her trees are complete. Can I show them?
Sure, go
Let me
ahead.
see.
And you see that giant icicle, perhaps?
I don't know if
you
it's
can see it.
focusing. Let me see. Oh, yeah, okay. So, I don't know. That's outside her window. Her evergreens are completely covered with snow. You can't even see the road. That's how knee-deep we are. Okay.
And more coming tonight.
No.
So I do have another little tale about the felted bag.
Okay.
You know, felting goes much easier if you have the non-high efficiency washer with the center post.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which
I have well, it's good to know because my good friend Lori still has that machine. She keeps getting it repaired because she loves to felt too. And we did put this bag inside a zippered pillowcase because, you know, of all the fuzz. And when I took it out of the machine, I wrapped it up in one of her towels. And there was a lot of fuzz coming off of this this purse. Anyway, the other day I get in the car and Lori says, I have a gift for you, Sandy. And I'm like, ooh, how nice. So she said she keeps finding these all over her house. All right. little fur balls from my bag.
And this is this was schmutz, right?
This is
You're
schmutz,
teaching us
right? This is schmutz, little garbagey things, little dirty things, schmutz.
So yeah, so could I? Basically,
but anyway, the point being is you really have to be careful with your washing machine if you're felting.
Yeah.
You want to put it inside a zippered bag that does stay closed. Some people actually pin it closed in case the zipper opens, because things do create a lot of fuzz, and that could clog your drain.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to show my last work in progress.
Oh, okay. Work in progress. I didn't show those. I showed finished things.
That's all right. You can do your
I have a few more finished objects. Because Amy, I gathered all these things.
This is going to be my next shawl pattern. So this is the Guardian of Air shawl that I've knitted up already in art yarn years ago. I
don't know if you can really see that color, but that is like the Caribbean Ocean. It is so gorgeous.
Yeah. So this is Lost Cities Denise's yarn. I hope I have the thing in here. Yeah. It's Cerulose, and it's Twin Canyon fingering. It's 50 merino, 50 silk. Lost City Denise. Well, that's her name. Lost City Knits, and here's the yarn info. But I was thinking, so I'm going to have to rip this because this is, like I said, I'm writing up the pattern. And I don't know if you can tell, but there are some cables in the pattern. It's kind of pulling it in, so it's kind of in and out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this with yarn overs. I was doing a knit front back for my increases.
Oh, okay.
But you can see it's kind of like pulling in and pulling out, right? I'm sorry. Let me just show you one more time.
Did you want it more to be more straight?
I want it to be more straight, so I'm going to do
like
yarn
a
overs.
center.
And then here's what I was thinking. So here's the other color I bought. You're familiar with what this looks like. I was thinking of doing this color at the border and the body with this silvery color.
Very beautiful. Either way.
Aren't they gorgeous?
Gorgeous together.
This yarn is really nice.
And in a couple of weeks, we'll be seeing all the samples. Wow.
And the put up on this yarn is good.
What does that mean, put up?
The amount of yardage.
Per skein? Or
per skein,
okay.
Yeah. Let me see if it says it on the thing. It's like 500 yards or something insane. Can't find that thing. I just had it. Oh. It is 500 yards a skein. So it's a light fingering.
That's a lot of yardage.
Well, that's one of the reasons I picked it. I picked it because, like, I knit the first one without a pattern. I knit it with art yarns.
Yes.
Mohair Splash, which is silk and mohair, and so soft and drapey. But let's face it, it took 4 skeins of art yarns.
Okay.
I got it on sale at a clearance.
But we don't all have that opportunity, even though unfortunately a lot of yarn stores are closing.
Yeah, so that's like a $200 shawl if you paid full price for it. And I think Mohair Splash is even more expensive now. I think it's like $50 or $60 a skein. I'm not sure, but it is expensive.
That is luxury.
So I wanted to give a more affordable yarn with the pattern. So that's the yarn I'm going to write the pattern up with.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do have a friend who will only knit a pattern with the yarn that was knitted in the original pattern.
Really?
Because she feels like she wants it to have the same drape and the same look, and she has a hard time even, interpreting that, even using Ravelry to see other yarns that were used.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're going through some finished projects here. So, all right, growing up, I had a really big head and always had a hard time finding hats to wear. And I can think of all of these winters that I didn't wear a hat because they just didn't fit. I think it's actually the crown that's big, not so much the size of the head. But then once I learned how to knit and I said, I'm going to have some fun with hats, I have been. So this is the sideways, this is my hats from this year. This is the sideways grand cloche. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, I guess so.
I started knitting this hat in July. We had an incredible heat wave this past July, and the fabric is so dense, and I was like, I will never, ever have an opportunity to wear something so thick. I'm so happy that I made this hat.
Yeah.
I debated whether the braid should be the same color as the hat or a different color. I just thought it looked too dark, although every time I'm out, people ask me if this is a handle or a teapot cover.
Oh, no.
I guess when I don't want to wear this as a hat anymore, I could sort of cut a hole and sew up, for a teapot. But anyway.
Did you make it from that 6-pack of farm alpaca?
No. This, again, is Misty Alpaca.
Okay.
Which, at some point I needed another skein. And I think if you don't know this wonderful yarn website, DBNY, which is Discontinued Brand Name Yarn. Am I allowed to?
Don't give away our secrets.
Okay,
Don't get yarn that we could have.
They, what they do is yarn stores that are going out of business that are having a hard time selling off their stock, they go and actually sort of pick it up from them and then sell it on their
That's
website.
How I got the art yarn. You told me about a store.
Oh.
It wasn't this one. It was a different one that actually I can't find online anymore.
No, I think it was DBNY. I remember getting art yarn there too, which were unbelievable prices. Okay, now I have hat hair. Yeah. Excuse me. All right, so that's one hat. All right, now I'm going to show you my little surprise hat. I love Pagewood Farm yarns and their attachments to their yarns. And for years, I wore this gorgeous cowl with their florally yarn. And I was like, I can't wear this cowl anymore. I've worn it, too much. So I saw this somewhere, and I said, I have to replicate this, even though I could not find the pattern anywhere. So I created this beautiful hat. Which to me is just a lot of fun with this big flower on the side. I feel like I'm wearing a bathing cap from the 60s.
Oh, right? Oh, my gosh. I remember those.
When I took the cowl apart, since this is mostly roving, a lot of it broke apart. So I had a lot of weaving in to do when I repurposed it to make a hat. Mm-hmm. And then it was just too short. Again, I have a really big crown. And I had to search all over for where I had that extra piece of yarn. And I ended up... I'm not sure if you could see that. I crocheted around the bottom.
I remember that.
So this is my
good
flower hat.
That's so cute.
All right. And then back to Pagewood Farms one more time. I had this, they call it giant, here it is, giant pearls. I don't know if this is coming up. Giant pearls.
I think they can read it.
And, I got that yarn actually somewhere, again, at one of these sales, thinking, oh, this will be fun to knit with one day. And then I'm like, what am I ever going to make with this? So at this other wonderful yarn store called Knitting Nation in Nyack.
Sandy gets around.
Yeah. Okay. I saw this incredible hat made out of this bally yarn, just the balls. Okay. And I was like, oh my gosh, that would be such a fun hat to wear. And I'm like, I cannot wear another funny hat. And the other day, she was having a let's get out a winter sale. I guess actually this past Sunday.
She tried to talk me into going, but you'd be proud of me. I said, no, I'm not going.
Okay. And there was this Ozark hand-spun yarn that was there. And this scarf was knitted up in the basket, in the sample basket. And I just decided that would be the better use of these balls.
Look at it. I love it. And then she
It's
put this
just so
different
earthy
colored one
looking.
in, yeah.
You know, it reminds me of fall, but very happy.
It's
Very
gorgeous.
simple knit
I
on a
love the
wintry
colors.
evening when it was snowing.
Downton Abbey knitting.
Downton Abbey.
Yeah, so I still can't. I'm so upset. I only saw the last 15 minutes.
Oh. Well, you can record it again.
Are they going to play
Because
it
they
again?
show it several times.
They do?
Oh, because you can look up, you can search for Downton Abbey.
Oh.
That's what I ended up doing because I missed the first half hour. So I was trying to figure out why the grandmother was talking to Edith about her
Don't give anything away. People might
about her pregnancy. I just thought that was really odd that the grandma was. Maggie Smith is wonderful, a little bit more modern than I expected. So I just have 2 more finished projects to show, and
Go ahead.
so
After you're done, I'll show my little finished product.
all right, I have to laugh because this is
I remember this. Now, you got this at the first Vogue Knitting Live, wasn't it?
yeah, I think I did.
It was and we've gone to every VKL Vogue Knitting Live since they started doing it in New York.
We had a friend who would come to our knitting group. Hi, Liz.
Liz.
Who worked, I think she took the train to work in the city and would knit this mindless scarf using yarn from Habu. And I thought it was the greatest thing until 2.5 years later, I was still knitting this delicate, wiry yarn.
This is wire. This is steel,
that part's
right?
steel, and the other
This
part is
held-
merino.
It's held double with the steel.
Now, it's so delicate and so beautiful. The idea is that you're supposed to felt this and create a solid, it will create a solid but stiff fabric because it has the steel in it.
Yeah.
And I'm still trying to decide if that's what I want to do.
Now, are you going to put like a steel border on this end too, the way you did on this end?
Well, no, this has become my new sort of signature thing that when I knit with 2 yarns, at one end, I just pick one of them and hold it singly.
Oh, so here's the other end of hers.
Yeah.
It's wider
This
than
actually, the way this was knit, it was half of the entire scarf was knit with held double with the merino and the steel, and the other half was just the steel. And every time I looked at it on Ravelry, there was such a marked, difference between both parts that I just didn't like it. So I decided that I would rather have most of it felted and just show a little bit of the wire
Just the wire.
at the end.
Okay.
And I'm looking around at myself and the table here. What else have I got? I got a few things. Just, I love when you go to these yarn festivals, and there's one guy, I can't remember his name, who carries these yarns made out of
Silk.
cut up sari silk.
Gorgeous.
And you buy a skein, and it doesn't go as far as you'd think. But I had this desire to use it with this, oops,
You saw the crack.
this fuzzy yarn, and then on the front
Isn't
I made
it
this
beautiful?
pillow.
Let me hold it up close.
Okay.
You can see the silk, and then down here she's got a different color.
I think a couple of
It's gorgeous.
months ago, I saw on Facebook a young woman who had knit all these pillows on her couch.
Wow.
She just liked playing with the yarns in different patterns, and she decorated her house that way. And I thought, as a knitter, what a great thing that would be. So if I ever have like an extra skein, maybe I'll just knit up a pillow.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I have to say, I knit this probably like in a day and a half, but because I had to sew it together, it took me another month to finish it. I would sew one side at a time and then leave it there. But I did discover something interesting for your knitty friends. I bought this pillow form at Joann's. It was 50% off, or I had a 50% off coupon. But then I was walking through Target one day, and I saw that they also have small pillows, which were less expensive
Than a pillow form.
than a pillow form at Joann's, and also Home Goods and Marshalls. sometimes have pillow forms, and their prices are
Much cheaper. Wow.
they're more reasonable, and for some reason they're not like crafty pillows, so they feel like a real pillow, more dense. And I think if I do continue with this, I will this project in mind of making all these different pillows, I might get them at Home Goods or Target.
Target, don't use your credit card there.
All right, so
Is that it?
that's finished.
All right, I've got 2 finished objects, and I have 2 finished spinning objects. So my husband,
Who puts up with all our knitting nonsense?
he really does. So, and he even comes and hangs out with us sometimes on our knitting nights. He just sits there and reads. So does your friend Michael. But I made him this for Valentine's Day. It's just a washcloth, but I just wanted to give him a little something. I was snowed in. I couldn't even go out and get him a card. We were snowed in. And so I whipped this up in one day, a couple hours. And it was meant to be a washcloth. And he looked at it when I gave it to him, and he put it, is this a bib? And I'm like, yeah, honey, it's a bib. So, and he thought I was serious. So I took a picture of it, I put it on Instagram. But this is for Marky. It was my little Valentine's Day gift because I couldn't get him a card.
Oh.
And
But you did have a really nice dinner.
we went to, so if you don't, I know I've mentioned it before, but my husband graduated from the Culinary Institute up in Hyde Park. So
Amy has not cooked a meal in how many years?
how long have I been married? Actually, before that.
Right,
because,
right.
I mean, even like he's got the freezer full of meals that I could just heat up. But for years, I wasn't allowed a microwave.
Oh, so you had to put his frozen food in the oven?
I had to thaw it out and put it in the oven because he was anti-microwave. He said it ruined the flavor of the food.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe he was against it for environmental reasons or anything that it might do to the chemical.
No, it's all what
chemical,
it would do with the food.
the chemical structure of the food.
So anyway, we went out to the Bear Mountain Inn, which is on the other side of the Hudson River from us. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. And if you ever come up for Rhinebeck, it's worth stopping
Oh,
at.
Absolutely.
So they have a big lodge.
And if you love walking and hiking, there's some beautiful, beautiful overlooks there. Oh, gorgeous.
It's beautiful. And when the weather gets better, I was thinking I might go up Seven Lakes Drive, or even like what's the one that goes up to the top where the tower is?
Oh yeah. It's on the tip of my tongue now, but this is actually one of my favorite spots in the world is to go up there. And I also like to hula hoop. Maybe we'll have some hula hooping at the end.
That would be fun.
And I like to take my hula hoop and stand at the precipice and hoop. And people thinking I'm going to fall over the end, but it really is fine.
So we ate at the inn there, and because we're good friends with the chef there, he put us right near the fireplace. And this fireplace, let me tell you, you could stand in the fireplace. And this lodge is like over a couple 100 years old. Right?
I have childhood memories. I didn't grow up around here, but I have childhood memories of coming up here and that fireplace. And the first time that I came back to Bear Mountain and saw that fireplace, it just filled me because it was just brought it all back.
Yeah. Well, I did grow up here, and we used to go up there in the wintertime because Santa's workshop was up there.
I have the best story about Santa's workshop.
And I really believed that Bear Mountain Park was the North Pole, and that something magic happened when we crossed the bridge and brought us to the North Pole.
Oh my gosh.
And they had reindeer up there, and there was ice skating ring. And
there's still an ice skating rink up there. You know, there's so few outdoor skating rinks, and that's one of the ones near us.
But we used to go up there, and I truly believed I was at the North Pole. So anyway,
and then we had years of no snow. Now it must look like the North Pole again. Yeah. And as we're sitting here talking, I am watching this icicle outside my window just grow and grow and grow. Amy, you know what I'm finding interesting? You were talking about how much you loved the yarn on the hemlock blanket, and this yarn is very similar. What do you have here?
This is my loop mat. So this is
let's put it together.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's in the same
very
similar. You're
actually.
a little bit brighter. You spun that?
This is my first loop bat. I showed this to everybody last week.
It looks like commercial yarn. Oh my goodness, it's so even.
I Navajo plied this.
I don't know what that means.
That means I chain plied it or I 3-plied it, so I kept the colors together. And
Amy,
so I'm getting there. This is
you've really gotten there.
The colorway is Earth Mother, and it is merino and tussa silk. And smell it. So what's the name of the? Remember we got it at Vogue.
Oh, it's Kristen Omdale's new line of wool wash, which to me smelled like orange blossoms, like being in Florida. But I think it had a different name.
Beautiful.
We'll put that on at the end too, because you have to see if you can get this particular scent of that.
It's flowery. If you don't like flowery scents, don't bother. But if you do,
it'll bring you right back to Miami in the 1960s.
It was
That's
really
what
strong.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know if you did, but we traveled a lot to Florida when I was a little girl, and it used to be fun to go into the souvenir shops. And my favorite thing was always to get the orange blossom perfume, which was probably some chemicals or something. But when I opened up that bottle, I was like, okay, this is it. And I think Kristen is from Florida, and she said that this was a plant that is from Florida.
It was strong when I took it out of the bath, but it's just subtle enough that it's, I don't know what to make.
It's Eucalyptus, right? It's the Eucalyptus brand.
I think so.
Yeah. Which yesterday, Amy and I went to Goodwill, and I found the funkiest dress there, and I soaked it in that wash because you know how things in Goodwill have that little musty smell, and I can't wait till it's summer and to wear this dress, and maybe I'll show it to you, Knitty friends.
Knitty friend. All right, so I have a finished object and one more finished object, actually two. But this is a knitted finished object. This was supposed to be my sister Lisa's Christmas present. It's a Camden
Happy Valentine's Day.
From
Happy St. Patrick's Day, Kim.
It's for Lisa. Kim got
Lisa. Oh, okay.
So I finished one for my sister Kim, and I didn't fold. So in the pattern, she recommends folding it over and doing the whip stick.
What a great ending to finishing to that. That is.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to take the other one back from my sister Kim and do this because it really does make a difference. But Lisa, your Christmas present is finally done. So I love this. It was great. I bought the kit, and this is the Vertigo colorway.
That is, that yarn is just gorgeous. I even can imagine a tank with that in the summertime.
Oh yeah. So it's I forget what the
in fact this pattern would be so gorgeous as an article of clothing.
I have some Jill Draper yarn that I bought at Vogue Knitting Live.
This weight?
One's a gradient. No, it's a thicker weight. Mm-hmm. It's actually this is a Jill Draper yarn right here, the solid one.
Okay.
And I bought the yellow, like goldenrod, and then I bought a multicolored one.
Yeah.
And I was thinking I could make like a bigger one, follow Laura's pattern, and then make a bigger one with those two yarns.
It's really gorgeous.
It would be beautiful.
Absolutely.
My last final object.
Did you spin that?
Holy smokes. I will never do this again.
We're holding her to this.
I spun this on my spindle. It's 50% silk and 50% merino, and it was hard to spin this, and it came out really uneven.
But Amy, it has such such texture to it.
It will have a nice rustic look.
Yeah, it has a beautiful like history to it.
That's
what I love about homespun yarn. You know that it went through somebody's fingers.
I also
and there's so much love in it and energy.
Plied it on a spindle. So what I did is I wound it on.
It's jewelry.
Here it is.
Simple.
There's the other half of the braid. It's Into the World, 50% merino and silk, and it's the Sansa colorway. And I got it at Rhinebeck this year.
And she also rinsed this in the same Eucalyptus by Kristen Omdale.
I like it a lot.
Oh my! Oh.
But I have to get something different because Mark didn't like it.
Okay.
He says, I do not wash my socks in that. I don't want to smell like a flower, he said.
I just have to say something. I love sniffing yarn.
She does. She's a yarn huffer from way back. So it was really hard to draft this because of the silk, and it hurt my hands.
So you're not going to finish that?
I'm doing the second half on my Hanson mini spinner. This is enough to make a pair of mitts with. So Sandy and I did a knit along with our local knitting group last year.
In the fall we did it.
Yeah, the Brooklyn mitts, because we live near the Brooklyn Bridge. We figured we'd do the Brooklyn mitts.
And I have to get up to show you that.
One of those mitts weighs just under an ounce. So this is 2 ounces. I figure I can make a pair of mitts with this, and that's what I'm going to do.
But if you keep it simple, you'll really see the
that's
variation
what I'm going to do.
in the yarn.
It's just going to be a little bit of ribbing, and then stockinette, and then some ribbing up here.
Gorgeous.
But I'm not on the spindle. But I
have to just show you this again. You cannot believe. I really cannot believe that you spun this. Look at that. It's so gorgeous.
It was so much fun. I love my Hanson mini spinner. Sandy, if you get a spinner, you're gone.
No, I'll just give you anything I like and you can spin for me.
Oh
my goodness.
I'm telling you, Sandy, you need to get a spinner.
I
need to get Sandy spinning.
I just need to sniff.
All right, so I started something much easier. So this is a trindle that I got at Stitches East. And what booth was that?
It's Stitches East? Are you sure? Okay.
Dragonfly Fibers.
Dragonfly Fibers? Oh!
Yeah, and they had these little...
That was Stitches East?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we go to a lot of places.
We go everywhere
We're going... You know that Seinfeld internet sensation, comedians in cars with coffee? We're going to have a blog, Knitters in Cars Going to Yarn Stores.
We're going to do
as soon as the roads are better. That's what we're doing.
We could do the bra stores, too.
Oh, Knitters in Cars Going to bra stores, circling for a spot on the Upper West Side. I just have to add this. There's a phenomenal bra store, Town Bra Shop, that's been in business for, I think, at least 80 to 100 years. And we were down in the city for Vogue Knitting Live and thought we would go to this bra store after we leave Vogue Knitting Live. And I think we circled for 40 minutes. And then I was like, we have to go home. I am exhausted. I am tired. And
all that yarn shopping is exhausting.
It is. Walking around, sure, or standing on your feet all day.
Yeah. So this is BFL. It's from Unwind Yarn Company.
Best friends and lovers.
And this is much easier to spin on a spindle. So I'm going to stick to the easy stuff on my spindles. And I'll leave silk and that kind of stuff.
Can you stand up so they could actually see it spinning?
Sure. Let me see here.
Whoops.
It's all right. I'll get it in a minute.
I'll get out of the way.
Here we go. It's so cute. I love this. So this BFL, I think I said it's from Unwind Yarn Company, and it's called Stop and Smell the Poppies, and it's really beautiful orangey color. It's like fire. And I don't know what I'm going to make with this, but I can see myself doing another tarot card based design with it.
Okay.
It's a fiery color. And that's it. Are you shot?
No, I have more to show.
Let's go, girlfriend.
Okay. Okay, works in progress. All right, another lovely hat. I was recently in New Orleans, where there is a wonderful, wonderful yarn shop in...
See, she does get around. New Orleans.
New Orleans, in the French Quarter. And there was this beautiful hat at the front counter. And I was like,
oh, it is.
And I was like, what's this? And she said, oh, that's the hat on the cover of Vogue Knitting, the Ultimate Hat book. It's called the Sunflower Medallion Beret. And it's knit with koigu, which is one of my addictions. I just love koigu yarn.
I haven't bought any koigu yarn
And here I made a photocopy of it to carry around with me. And I just want to show you this because this color. Really is the first colorway of koigu that I ever purchased. When I was learning to knit Magic Loop, I made a pair of gloves in this colorway that were my favorite
beautiful?
pair of. This is the hat in progress. It has a flower beret on the top of the beret, and there's gorgeous like popcorny type of stitch, medallion-y stitch.
Beautiful.
Anyway, I love these gloves. They were my favorite gloves.
Do you have the one glove that you still have?
Yes, I can get that. We'll put it in a picture later next to the hat. Anyway, a couple of New Year's Eves ago, I was out at a museum with my son, and we were walking around the town in Beacon, the Dia Museum. If you're up in the Hudson Valley, you should check out the Dia Museum. It is lit only by natural light.
Wow.
So on cloudy days, it looks different than on a sunny day. It's just really absolutely gorgeous there. Anyway, we walked around Beacon. I got home and realized I was missing one of my gloves. I was so sad. I called the museum. I called every shop we were in, and nobody had my glove. Aww. So, you know, it's like where the socks go. It's in glove heaven. But I did keep the one glove, so we'll put a picture.
That's like me with
my
first hand-spun glove. I lost at Stitches East this past
November. That's right. You can make like a coffee cozy out of the other one.
That's a good idea.
A coffee cup cozy.
Yeah.
Okay. The other day, another favorite yarn store, Knitting Nation, was having their winter get rid of stuff sale. So I did show you the
sparkly in it.
This. I showed you the scarf before. This is another sample of that Ozark Locky kind of hand spun. I just love these colors. I've always admired this Ozark. I think it's fun and funky, especially when added to something else. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this, but I think I'm going to combine it with a dark brown alpaca and make something with it. And then last purchase. And then I do have one last thing to show because I have so much. I have so much to show. Okay, this yarn is another Himalayan yarn, but this one is made from chiffon silk ribbon. So pretty much it's like a scarf cut up into yarn. And I just thought it would be a really cool if there's enough to make like an infinity cowl for the
nice.
Spring. Just another mindless thing to knit while you're watching Downton Abbey or on the
I can't
train.
wait for Outlander.
I know, but I don't know what that is.
You haven't read Outlander?
No!
Sandy?
I can't wait for Glee to start again. Or Hannibal.
You have
Or, of course, my favorite, absolute favorite from childhood on, Dallas.
Dallas? Oh my
God.
Who Killed J.R.?
Or, yeah, Who Killed J.R.?
I liked his brother.
How did J.R. die?
Somebody.
Larry Hagman, rest in peace.
Aww.
All right,
he was actually a really good man.
So there's just a few more things. I keep saying a few more things.
Well,
okay, I have to like pick up my foot for you. All right, this is the bottom of the slipper.
Can I take it off?
Yes.
All right. So I actually got you to buy this book too, or was this from the book? No, this was a separate pattern.
Yes, but I did end up buying the book.
Did you buy the book?
Yes.
What is the name of the book?
Is it Botanical Knits?
No, it's not. It's from, I got to tell you, because it's a great book, and I bought it, and I was like, I was going to make everything in the book.
Showing my footsie.
And I never did. But
well, while Amy's looking that up, you see on the bottom, I put on this no-slip coating, which you can, I think, purchase something clear at Home Depot. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but what I used, I had read about, was what people make hooked rugs. They paint this on the bottom of their hooked rugs. It's called Safety Back. I saw it in AC Moore one evening, and I had a 50% off coupon, so of course I had to buy it. It really is like thick Elmer's glue, but I'm telling you, on my wood floors, it's great. I have wood steps. I love these Munkusa boots.
Yeah, so the book we were talking about is by Tiny Owl Knits, and Tiny Woodland Knits is the name of the book.
There is a birch tree scarf in there that I want to make. And I have the yarn picked out for it.
Really?
I have a white and a brown alpaca.
And you know, a
picked out
ton
for
of
it.
people. So okay, you're right. The boots are not in there, but I bought the pattern separate then because I have the pattern and I've been meaning to.
And
make
so
it.
of course, I made them. The only thing is, I did cut the fringe even. A lot of people kept it, all varying lengths to make it more, I guess, natural looking.
Yeah.
But I kind of liked it like that. I knit this with some sort of Rowan yarn. It's called Rowan Country. I don't think they make that anymore. But I wanted to tell you that I got it at Smiling Yarns, which is this yarn store that has been in business for eons in Jamaica, Queens. I think generally they're only open on the weekend. Occasionally they're open during the week. A lot of it is acrylic yarn in there, but you can find some really wonderful finds and incredible prices. They have warehouse sales. I have accumulated too much yarn from this place. I am sort of on this kick that I have to knit from stash.
That's why she went shopping the other day and tried to drag me out with her.
And I'm still trying to get her to go back. But I've really been much better about my yarn purchases. But it's hard. Like, do you pick a project and then find the yarn in your stash, or do you say I always wanted to knit with this yarn and then pick a project? And then the other thing is I have all of these knitting books. I mean, in recent years, I've started to get the books from the library and look through them and then purchase the ones that I really want, which I have a funny story to tell about that. But also, I'm like, well, there's so many books that I haven't knit from. So I had this idea that I would knit from books and stash, that I would go through each book and make at least one thing from the book and make it from stash. However, you just get distracted.
This is so nice.
This is so nice. I want to make this. Oh, look at that. It's so cute. For instance, 1 second. I'm getting up. I saw.
Oh, that little kit.
I would just love to have my own little kitty cat. But in the interim, there's this cute little kitty cat. So I remembered I have black and white Patton's yarn. Okay, Amy, I bought this yarn when Joann's was going out of business at the Cortland Town Center.
And now
they're back at the Beach Shopping Center. So I've had this yarn a long time. Wow. I did start it. This is as far as I got.
Got distracted?
No, because they said that it shouldn't be that tight and it shouldn't be that loose. And I started it on fours, I think. And
That's really vague, though.
And on fours, fours it felt like too loose, and on threes it feels too tight. And also, I'm in the middle of so many other things that my kitty cat is going to have to wait.
I would go with the threes. Are you felting it?
No, it's not felted.
I would go with the threes then.
Yeah. All right, and I guess my last thing that I want to show is this wonderful blanket that I'm making with Noro.
She's been working on this since before I knew her.
Just before I knew you.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's the 10-stitch blanket by Frankie Brown. People love this pattern. I started it years and years ago because I love this Corian yarn. And you know what? When you knit 10 stitches back and forth, you get pretty bored pretty quickly.
I've heard a lot of complaints. So what's the trick of
getting it done? The trick of getting it done is every once in a while taking it out. But I have renamed this the 10-stitch 10-year blanket. And so I think I'm in year 5, and I'd like to show you.
Yeah, get it.
Okay.
I love it.
Now the thing about this Corian yarn, which is also pretty expensive, anytime I saw it on sale, I bought it. Anytime a yarn store was going out of business, I bought it. Here's the skein.
Let me see if I get it.
It's colorway 185, I think.
It's beautiful autumn colors.
And
oh yeah.
Here we go. 5 years of 10 stitch.
Wow. And isn't it gorgeous? I'm telling you.
I mean, I know that's yeah. It's gorgeous.
It is beautiful, Sandy. Oh.
I'm looking at it though. I'm trying to see something. Right.
Can you imagine snuggling up to this?
Okay, let's snuggle.
All right, so we've been an hour. We should probably say goodbye.
Yeah, because who's going to watch this? If you're still watching this in an hour, email us. We love you.
All right.